What's up, YouTube family? Hey! Today, I did want to discuss this shit that has been going on all over the internet. Everybody is talking about this. Lil Yachty getting on Black Boy Max's stream with everybody from Concrete, going on a tear as far as making songs, listening to hella beats, and just cracking off. Really some cool shit to watch if you appreciate the process of recording. But what niggas is talking about is this George Floyd line that popped up in Lil Yachty's freestyle. Check it out. Nigga said, I put my knee up on her neck, call her George Floyd. Now, yo, as Black people, I really do think that we need to look at this from a couple different perspectives. One, of course, nigga, don't fucking say that shit. We have not sat up here and had our great grandparents fight and our grandparents march and do sit-ins at cafes and sit downs on the bus just so that we can make fun of people in our community who have suffered. Like, what the fuck type of shit is that? That doesn't make any sense to me. As a rapper, never in my life have I ever thought about saying some stupid shit about Harriet Tubman, about fucking Philando Castile, about Trayvon Martin, about any of the people who we have lost due to this disgusting shit that these police and these people in authority be doing to us. Never in my life have I ever thought to make fun or make a joke of that, because when one person passes, that affects an entire tree of people. There's a mom, there's a dad, there's sons, there's daughters, there's grandparents, there's cousins, aunties, uncles, all these folks who are now negatively affected and traumatized by this event. And on one hand, this shit is terrible objectively, ain't no discussion about that. The other part that I think is fucked up, that I feel like people are not breaking down enough because there's not enough people who rap talking about this situation. When you teach somebody how to freestyle, one of the biggest things that you teach them is you can say whatever you want. Don't sit there and judge yourself or try and hold the hand of Big Brother over your bars while you're trying to rap and while you're trying to freestyle, because that's going to fuck you up. That's going to create silence. That's going to create dead noise. And while you're freestyling, you can say whatever you want as long as you keep rapping. The worst thing that can occur in a freestyle is silence, objectively. And these days, it's kind of our fault that this shit has happened, because we do not hold our artists, no matter what age or what era that they came from, we do not hold them to the original rules and to the original techniques and to the original commandments of hip hop, which were you had to be honest. You had to write your own shit. You know what I mean? You had to be able to go off the dome. You had to be able to walk into a room where a cypher was happening, pick up the mic and do your shit. So many people and so many rappers these days focus way more on the freestyling aspect of it because it's stream of consciousness. It's quicker. You can just sit in front of the mic and make a song in fucking 5 minutes. If you're not having any second thoughts about what you're saying, then that gives you the freedom and the speed to do that. And a lot of times I think that when people make music contemporarily, they're thinking quantity over quality. People talk all day about how many songs that they can get done within a certain amount of time, or they talk about, oh yeah, when I did this album, I made 400 songs. And it's okay, nigga, how many of those were actually fucking good though? And I know that, at least from my experience, I've made a song and then I've made another song after that. And I've been okay, this song right here, I had to make this other song that I didn't like so that I could get to this song that I do like creatively, just for the sake of expression. But at the same time, it's that shit that people say, just about the internet, where if you put a camera on yourself for long enough and like people hear you talk all day, every day, then eventually you're gonna say some shit that people do not fuck with in any way, shape, or form. And like we've had like similar things happen with Yachty specifically in the past, like when he was on Everyday Struggle, Joe Budden got on his ass because he was happy, and he wasn't really, trying to go out of his way to say, oh yeah, like these older artists, that came before me, like I really, really appreciate like what they did so that I could do what I do. Like he really wasn't on that type of time. He was just like a having fun ass nigga. And then like, what I'm saying, when the Drake shit came out, it's like, okay, dog, like you not really, like I know that that's your nigga, but you not really being honest about like the position that your nigga is in. You know what I'm saying? You going on these podcasts and you trying to act like Drake is unbothered when meanwhile a year and some change later, this nigga is still rapping about how hurt he was, with regard to the things that turned out in that beef. To get back to the main shit, it's like, yo, like eventually when you have a camera on you, you're gonna say some dumb shit. And I think Lil Yachty just got in a position where he was on camera for a really long time and he was freestyling off the dome for a really long time, and he was saying whatever the fuck came to his mind and not really giving a shit about it. And the thing that he said without thinking about it first, because that's the way freestyling works, is my knee up on her neck, call her George Floyd. Yo, what's good, y'all? So brief interjection. Something else that I also wanted to point out about this, in just like comparing Lil Yachty's approach to other rappers, because when I talk about freestyling, like I know that I speak about it from a point where it's like, okay, like dog, you're in the moment and you're going off the dome and you're saying whatever comes to your head, so like you can't really blame the person for what they say. Like cool, that's fine, we can leave that where it is. Here's what you can do. When Blackboy Max was in the UK, and when he was doing them London streams where Lancey Foe came through to the studio, motherfucking Len came through to the studio, fucking Jim Legacy came through to his studio, and YT also came through to his studio. When YT was recording his verse, like for his song, he said, I believe the bar was, I just took 1,000, call me Bonnie Blue, psych, I'm not Bonnie Blue. It was something like that. If I can find it out, I'll play the clip so that y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. When the song was gonna come out, he said to Blackboy Max, he's like, yo, like this bar, it does not represent me, and it does not represent my community, and it doesn't represent what I want to stand for as a rapper. So let me take out that bar and let me replace it with something that actually fits my brand. That is what you do when you are a real artist that actually gives a fuck about what they say and how what they say affects other people. He said, dog, I know I was freestyling. I know it sounds cool. I know it's a bar or whatever. I know that the people are gonna fuck with it, but I don't fuck with it. So take that shit out. Lil Yachty had every opportunity when he was listening back to that song around all of his niggas in concrete to hear that bar and be like, yo, actually, like, I'm black. The people who support me are black. And like me saying that George Floyd shit is fucked up. Let me go back in there. Let me re-record another bar. He had every opportunity to do that and did not. So I just wanted to make that very, very clear separation, and to not make it seem like, oh, if you're freestyling, you can just say anything that you want, and like it like there's no flag on the play anywhere. And I still think that at its very, very core, like, bruh, there's no reason why that should even like come to your mind. And I think that like the other conversation that we need to have is the type of energy and the type of people and the type of person that like Lil Yachty has been around, Like when you think about Lil Yachty siding with Drake, like who is Drake? Drake is like, he's like kind of a womanizer. He's kind of like a corny, like childish, like douchebag in like a way, Like we keep talking about how this nigga is wants to act like he's 25 and date like he's 25 when he's like 30, 40 years old. Like, this nigga is a grown ass man. This nigga needs to get his colon inspected, right? And so, like, when, like, as Lil Yachty, when you're an actual young dude hanging out around these people, you know, and hanging out around this type of person, and like you can look at interviews, like Lil Yachty looks up to Drake because Drake has all the money and Drake has all the clothes and Drake gets all the bitches and da-da-da. And like, yo, all of this material shit, this is stuff that, like, when you're 15, when you're 13, when you're 12, you look at a nigga and you're like, oh, like, that should be my idol because that's the nigga that gets all the bitches and has all the money and has all the stuff and drives all the cars. But then you grow up and you realize, oh, wait, like, that nigga had all the shit, but he wasn't actually a good person, so I shouldn't fuck with him. But Lil Yachty is in a position where, like, he's got the rose-tinted, romanticized glasses on, looking at this situation like, yo, like, this is the guy. And so why would I not ride with the motherfucking guy? And it's like, nigga, you don't ride with the guy because he's not a good dude. And you can tell that he's not a good dude because of the way that his presence affects people like Lil Yachty. I don't think that Lil Yachty is a misogynist on paper. I don't think that he has a distaste or a distrust or a dislike of women. This nigga has a whole daughter. Like, on paper, that should be impossible. But I do think that to get to a place where something that naturally, like, comes up in your brain, like, as a bar to say, is like, oh, I put my knee on this woman's neck. I put her in a position where she is in pain. I put her in a position where she's in distress. And, like, he's saying that as if it's cool, when us normal people, like, we all understand that that shit is not fucking cool at all. But when you live in a bubble surrounded by and enveloped by energy that, like, only promotes like devilish shit and what's like hedonism, you know, and excess and gluttony, then you get into a place where you think that this shit is okay. You know, like, this is shit that famous niggas who are removed from, like, regular reality, this is shit that they be saying. Because you're not tapped in to regular life, bro. Like, you don't understand. And, like, also, we got peeped that Lil Yachty has never been, like, a political dude. He's never been, like, oh, fucking black power. He's never been, like, oh, yeah, when niggas is talking about Trump, oh, yeah, fuck Trump. Oh, yeah, fuck that nigga. Oh, yeah, fuck the KKK. Or, like, there's so many rappers who I could name that, like, go out of their way to say, yo, like, I stand with my people, I represent with what we represent, and Lil Yachty does not do that. And, like, on one hand, you could say, okay, he doesn't do that because he doesn't have to. And you could compare it to, like, the A$AP Rocky thing, where it's like, okay, like, A$AP Rocky, like, never, people got on him a while ago for, like, not talking about black people's issues. And it's like, but his shit was like, okay, dog, like, I'm A$AP Rocky. Like, I don't put black shit in my music like that, and so I don't feel comfortable speaking about it because I don't actually do the work. And he was like, oh, that nigga J. Cole, he actually does the work. He's out there, he's on his bike, he's fucking popping out at protests. Like, expect that from him. But, like, to expect it from somebody who doesn't make that a part of their brand is tough, you know? But at the end of the day, like, yo, we try and humanize these rappers. We try and bring them away from a place of, like, only existing in this like parasocial type of pedestal or type of viewpoint, and we try and bring them back down to earth with our expectations, you know, and with our expectations that we feel are normal. Like, hey, don't talk shit about women in every single song. Like, okay, we know it's hip hop, and we know that misogyny has been a part of hip hop since borderline its inception, but, like, it's 2025, can we not? And then also at the same time, my nigga, like we spent an entire fucking half of a decade like talking about how, hey bro, we are not fucking cool with the way that police treat us. We are not cool with our people dying in street for no motherfucking reason. And yet we look up and we're making jokes about it. Like, my nigga, why? Why does this happen? Why do we feel as though it's cool to not give a fuck? And I feel like Lil Yachty's kind of living in the past, you know? I feel like once upon a time during like the inception of the streamer shit, you know, when COVID was cracking off, like 2021, 2022, 2023, like some of that edgy shit, some of that red pill shit was coming back into the fold, and edginess was like back on, it was hip again to say outlandish out of pocket shit and to fucking, you know, throw out a Sig Heil when you got however many cameras on you in public, this, that, and the third. Like that shit became cool. But now that hip hop is coming back to a place that's focused on like the mental and lyrics and storytelling and like not just vibes, I feel like we're breaking out of the curse of not giving a fuck. I feel like people are paying attention and holding these folks accountable for their actions, because we need to, yo. Like, there's no way that Lil Yachty is going to like grow as a person and as an individual if we are not able to hold him accountable for his actions and for the areas in which him and like other rappers like him who are able to exist in this bubble without any like scrutiny. Like, we need to, you know what I'm saying? We need to bring this shit out into the light, and we need to really like, you know, examine and press niggas over this, you know, or else hip hop is just going to keep, it's going to keep going further and further down vibration wise. It's going to keep, you know, going to a place that like inspires and promotes negativity and violence amongst, you know, our own communities. And just, you know, like, it's not gonna help us prosper type shit. And yeah, I don't really feel like, you know, all of this shit should be like specifically Lil Yachty's responsibility. I don't think that he should feel as though, oh, whenever I rap, I have to think about the kids, you know? And also, dog, like, you have a kid, so think about the kids. Like, what the fuck? Hip hop is for the children. Wu-Tang, nigga. I know that he doesn't know nothing about that, but like, come on, yo. Like, we gotta read the book. We gotta understand where this shit comes from, and we gotta do our best. You know, that's really all I think it was. I really don't think that Lil Yachty was doing his best in that moment. So yeah, that's all I got to say. If y'all fuck with this video, if y'all like what you know what I'm saying, if y'all fuck with me just getting on the mic and yapping for however long about some hip hop shit, please leave a like, leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you want to see more music shit like this. More content coming soon, more videos coming soon. You already know what the fuck going on. Universal Hunt, checking out. Love y'all. Be safe. Drink water. All that.